Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be talking about reflections in geometry, so similar to the problems that you see up on the screen here. Just a reminder that this is the speedrun version where we go through it pretty quickly. If you'd like the normal version, I'll link that in the description below. All right, for your Ricasso recap, you should already know how to graph points on the coordinate plane. You should know what the x-axis is, what the y-axis is. If you'd like a refresher on this, I'll link a video in the description. Please go watch that before you start this lesson. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. So it says graph the image of f7, 8. F is already on the graph for us here, so cool. Already have the graph. After a reflection, that's the new thing today, over the line y equals 5. Y equals 5 is also graphed for us. That's the green line that you see on the graph. So the pre-image is what we started with. So we started with f located at 7, 8. Think of preseason or prequel. Okay, it's the before. The way you reflect this is you sort of put your pencil, right on F, and then we're going to count the boxes to the line of reflection. So 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes. So from here to here is 3 boxes, 3 lines, okay? And then now we're going to count the same amount of boxes, 3 boxes, in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And so it has to be the same distance from the point to the line of reflection. Think of a mirror, right? Same thing on both sides. And what we call our new point is f prime. So the image is the new reflected point, f prime, and it is located at 7, 2. Now for this one, we're reflecting a shape, okay? And it's a reflection over the y-axis, which is also marked in green for us, so that's nice. And the way we do this is, let's start by listing our pre-image coordinates. So here I've listed t, u, and v. And now we do the same process that we did. We're just going to do it for each individual point. So let's start with t, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And so t prime is located at 4, 3. So t prime is located at 4, 3. And now we're going to do that for u and v as well. And so once you reflect both points, here is the shape of the reflected triangle, right? You can sort of see, everything matches up across the mirror here. Now, there is a pattern here. When you reflect over the y-axis, there's a pattern to your numbers. So if you want to look at these numbers and then look at the prime numbers, these numbers, and see if you can figure out the pattern. If you want to pause the video, but I'm going to tell you the answer in 3, 2, 1. So the pattern here is that all of the y values, so all of the y values here, okay, switched from negative to positive, right? They all switch to positive numbers down here. So in words, change the positive negative sign on the x coordinate. So this is for when you reflect across the y-axis. If you're looking for the math notation, it says if you start with xy, when you do this reflection, what you end up with is negative x, negative y. Whoops. Also, this means that if your x coordinate started negative, you change it to positive, and if it started positive, you change it to negative. All right, last thing here, graph the image after reflection over the line y equals negative x. So j is located at 410 to start. J prime, we're going to count directly towards the line of reflection here. As in, we're going to form a perfect x, we're going to form a perfect plus sign. Okay, you're going to go diagonally or slanted. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 diagonals. So from here to here is 7. So we're going to do the same thing the opposite across the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. And so j prime located ends up at -10, -4. And again, if you want to pause the video and see if you can figure out the pattern here, but the answer is coming in 3, 2, 1. The pattern here is that we switch the x and y, and we changed their signs, right? They were both positive, they both became negative, and they changed location, right? The x became the y became the x. So in words, right, switch the x and the y and change their signs. Again, if you want the math notation for the words, it would be like this. You switch the x and the y and you change their signs. All right, here's our cool clock for today, which means that it's time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two problems on your own. Take special note that these are two cases that are a little bit different. Y equals x. We did y equals negative x, so this is a change. And this is a reflection over the x-axis, not the y-axis. So again, see if you can figure out the patterns for these problems. You can pause the video, try these on your own. When you're ready, you can unpause and we will check your answers. Okay, now they've had time to work these problems. Let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem, you should have gotten n prime is located at -1, 9. And the pattern for when you reflect over y equals x is just you switch the x and the y, right? Don't change their sign, just switch the x and y. And for the second problem, here is the reflected graph. Here's the coordinates. The pattern for when you reflect over the x-axis is you just change the positive and negative sign of the y coordinate. All right, that's it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.